Hello everybody, this is the Mad Oz, and welcome to my top 10 Super Smash Bros. Ultimate wish list. Now, with this list, these are characters that I have decided that I would love to see in Smash Bros. And might actually have a chance to make it. And some not so much, which are the honorable mentions towards the end of the list. Now, with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into the meat of this. Number 10. Spyro. Alright, so my number 10 is Spyro because I could see Spyro potentially getting a spot in Smash, although I'm not 100% sure if he would. Now, Spyro is my number 10, also because his moveset, I don't know how different it would be, and I don't 100% see Spyro being that possible. Now, I would like for Spyro to be in Smash because with like the addition of like the riders, like the rides and stuff like that, and the fact that he just recently got a slightly new game, if you want to say that. It's a remake of, like, the originals are remastered. But with Spyro being the way that he is, I don't know if he'd have a chance or have a spot in Smash. And his moveset would be a little different. It would be an interesting moveset. And like his final Smash, he could call on some of the other, like some other Skylanders to like help him out and stuff like that. Because that would be pretty interesting as well. And like I said, his moveset would be an interesting type of moveset. It would work. It would be kind of cool. But I mainly just don't completely see it happening. And that's one reason why Spyro is my number 10 instead of higher on the list. Number 9. Isaac. Alright, and number 9 is Isaac from Golden Sun. Now, I actually don't have much of gameplay from the actual Golden Sun games, but I do have gameplay from me playing Smash Flash 2, which is where I could see his moveset being drawn from. Because his moveset in Smash Flash 2 is pretty decent. It's pretty decently set. It's like, it flows fairly well with the way that his games are, but I could see his up B being different, like that there, like the hand, I could see that being different, like being able to act out of it and like do more damage out of it, or just be able to do a attack out of it. I could see that being different, but one reason why I don't know why he's my number 9 is because I don't know if Isaac would be able to be in Smash. Like, everybody on my list, of course this is a top 10 list for characters that I want to see in Smash Brothers. Now, Isaac, it'd be interesting and really cool to see him in Smash Brothers because he hasn't had a game in so long. And people have probably pretty well forgotten about Isaac, forgotten about who he is, his games, the way he plays, and everything like that. And just his abilities all around. He's really well-rounded in his own games, and even in Smash Flash 2, he's really well-rounded. And just some of his moves from Smash Flash 2, I could see getting like an update for Smash Ultimate if he did get into Ultimate. But I don't see it 100% possible, considering the fact that he hasn't had a game in so long. But it would be cool to see, because there have been characters from games that haven't been in one of their own games in so long, but they did get into Smash Brothers, like Mega Man, for example. And yes, I know Mega Man is an iconic character, but he, like, one of his last games before 9 and 10 was Mega Man 8, and a lot of people weren't that fond of Mega Man 8, if I say so myself, because I've seen some bad reviews of Mega Man 8, but like with Smash Wii U coming out, not too long before Smash Wii U came out, I think it was, that Mega Man 9 and 10 were released. And Mega Man 9 and 10 brought it back to the days of old of Capcom's hard era, to where you made sure that you had to be good at the game to be able to beat it. And maybe there was the factor of being able to, like, Capcom working on Mega Man 11 in the process, or maybe it was just the whole thing of Beck coming into play as Mighty Number 9. They switched Mega Man over to Smash Bros. Wii U for that game, and then decided that they wanted another game. They wanted another Mega Man game and didn't want another Mighty game. So they just brought into the factor of Mega Man 11, which is coming out. But either way, this is about Isaac, not Mega Man. Isaac's stuff could be a lot better than it could be in Smash Flash. And I could see it happening. I can honestly see Isaac getting into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate instead of just being a playable character in Smash Flash 2. Now, there's characters in Smash Flash 2 that I highly doubt will ever get in. But regardless, I want Isaac fairly well. Like, Isaac is one character that I would want to see more in Smash Brothers. More than Spyro, at least. The other characters that I have on this list are higher up because I want to see them more in Smash Brothers, and I can see them more in Smash Brothers. But regardless, Isaac would be another really fun character to play as in Smash Brothers, and that is why he's my number 9. Number 8. Rasch. Number 8, we have Rasch the Battletoad. And the reason why I've chose Rasch over Resistant Pimple is because when people think of the Battletoads, they think of Rasch more than the other two. And yes, in this footage, Rasch is in Killer Instinct. And this is one reason why I could see him being a playable character in Smash Brothers as well coming up. And the fact that there's going to be a new Battletoads game. Now, I'm not 100% sure if it's a completely new game or if it's just a remaster. But either way, it's still a newer Battletoads title. It's still coming out, like, I believe in either 2019 or towards the end of 2018. But either way, it's, if not a unlockable or a full, like, one of the unlockable characters in Smash Brothers, I could see him at least being DLC. And with Rasch, his moveset is fairly well-rounded as well. He's got like his forward special, his down special, his up air, down tilt, forward tilt, everything. And I could see, like I said, I could see Rasch being a playable character in Smash because of his versatility in weaponry and arsenal. And I could just see it being better than how it is kind of in Killer Instinct. And they would definitely have to nerf his jumping height and his up B because he's a frog. But that's another thing that I could see being helpful, is him being a frog. So his up B and everything could be a lot better and be able to, like, get him higher up with jumping and everything. And yes, I know we already have a frog in Greninja, but it would be a welcomed addition to the Smash Bros. Roster with somebody from a different company. And yes, I know Rare isn't technically supposedly a different company, but we could use a Rareware rep other than Banjo and Kazooie. And that's why I have picked Rasch for the number 8 spot. Number 7. Lloyd. Now for number 7, I have Lloyd. And the reason why I have Lloyd at number 7 is because he's a little more wanted. And I could see Lloyd being a character, like in Smash Flash 2, which I have some footage of. I could see him being in Smash because there hasn't been a new Tails game as of recent, and the Tails game that Lloyd is from is a fairly old Tails game, but his moveset in Smash Flash 2 is very well rounded. His recovery's kind of decent, and I don't know if Nintendo would be able to get Lloyd, but I know that I know it's a bit of a stretch, but regardless, I could see Lloyd being a very well-rounded character for Smash Brothers, and another, like, a decent, I don't know if he'd be third party or not, but he'd be a decent character that I could see in Smash Brothers making his way into the roster because of the way that he is. And he'd be another character that would be able to bring something completely different to the table of Smash Brothers, unlike all the other characters. And yes, I know Lloyd would be another sword fighter, but here's the difference. Yes, Lloyd is a sword fighter, but Lloyd also has 2 swords. And that's something that I could see. That's another reason why I could see Lloyd being a Smash Brothers character, because he has 2 swords. And the reasoning why the reason why I see it is because his 2 swords would provide a lot of versatility and a lot of different moves and a lot of better range and everything. Like, one sword is shorter than the other. And here's my Smash Flash 2 stuff. And it's with Lloyd, like I said, his moveset is well-rounded. One sword is shorter than the others. He has 2 of them. So it'd be something a little more completely different than all the other sword fighters in Super Smash Bros. Because none of the sword fighters in Smash have 2 swords. They all just have, like, either a sword and a shield, or just a sword, and only use their sword for smash attacks. But regardless, Lloyd has 2 swords, so that could be a very welcomed, like, addition to the Smash Brothers roster and the Smash Brothers party because of that option. And it would bring a lot of a better variety of Smash, like a utility to them, and like a better Smash Brothers understanding, and a better wide roster, because he would have a 1-up on the other sword fighters, considering the fact that he has 2 again. I just love the fact that Lloyd would be able to have 2 swords in Smash Brothers instead of 1, because that'd be a first thing for Smash Brothers, is 2 swords. And that's another reason why Lloyd is my number 7 in this list. Number 6. Impa. Now for number 6, we have Impa. Now, the reason I have chosen Impa over some of the other Hyrule Warriors characters, like Darunia or Lana, is because Impa would just seem more interesting to me. And not just the fact that I played Impa 90% of the time in Hyrule Warriors, because I bounced back the idea of Darunia, Impa, or Lana. I bounced back between the 3, but I kept coming back to Impa because she has 2 interesting weapons, her Naginata and her Greatsword, and she controls the water element with her Greatsword. And yes, I know Darunia controls fire with his hammer and Lana with ice, but I find Impa more interesting because Impa's been around for a lot longer than the other 2. Well, I wouldn't say longer than Darunia, but Impa would just be more intriguing to me. because Impa's a little more well known, because Impa's been in more of the games, and she would be a little more interesting other than just being an echo of Sheik, because I heard from 4chan that there's supposed to be a Sheik echo fighter, and that can only be Impa. But I would prefer to have Impa as her own character, like a standalone character other than an echo fighter, because she deserves to be more than just an echo. And even so, one reason why she's number 6 is because, yes, she'd be another great sword user, and she'd be another Legend of Zelda rep. That's at least 2 reasons that she wouldn't be on the roster. But see, the thing is, that's only 2 reasons why she wouldn't be in. And yes, I know, like I said, Impa's another sword user and another Legend of Zelda rep, but regardless, it would be interesting to have Impa because of her elemental ability. Because she's got fire and water, and those could be interpreted into her final smash. But either way, she is another Legend of Zelda rep and another sword user. So that's why she is my number 6 on this list. Number 5. Lightning. Now, my number 5, as all of you seen, was Lightning. And Lightning is from the Final Fantasy series. She's the main protagonist from Final Fantasy 13. And the reason why I'm adding Lightning is, 1, she's my favorite Final Fantasy character. And 2, I know a lot of you are thinking we don't need another Final Fantasy rep, where we should be happy that we got the first. We should be happy that we got Cloud. But the thing on that is, yes, I am happy that we have Cloud, and I'm all for Cloud. But with Lightning she's not just another sword fighter. She's different, because she has a sword that is also a gun. And I know a lot of you are throwing up the Ruby meme, to where it's also a gun thing. And yes, that is completely true. It is also a gun. But that's the thing. Her sword is also a gun, so it makes things a lot more interesting and gives her a wider variety of attacks and damage that she can do. And it would have been interesting, like, part of me wanted to say Snow, like add Snow from Final Fantasy 13 into this, but that, I don't know how well that would go. But considering the fact that Snow's not a big protagonist, he's like the angsty character from Final Fantasy 13, and Lightning is... I love Lightning because how different she is from the other Final Fantasy characters, and a lot from her game. But with Lightning's versatility, and I know I'm using the word versatility a lot in this, but it's because it's true. Her versatility is quite well, and she can use magic as well. She can use the materia just like Cloud can, but I could see her using a little bit more of her materia, and like maybe I could see her using her weapons and stuff from Lightning Returns. But I'm not so sure which one I'd be happier with Lightning Returns Lightning, or standard Final Fantasy 13 Lightning, or 13-2 Lightning. I don't know. She differs in each game. So I don't know which one they would add if they did. And yes, I know we have a Final Fantasy character already in the form of Cloud. Just like with Impa, we have another sword fighter, like another big sword fighter, but I still think Lightning would be a very interesting character to have in Smash, considering how she is and who she is. it just seems like it'd be a very, very interesting addition to the roster, and that is why she is my number 5. Number 4, Shantae. And my number 4 is Shantae. Now, I know all of you, like everybody wants at least one indie character from a certain indie game, and it usually differs between, right now, 3 characters in the forms of Shantae, Shovel Knight, or Sans for some people. And Shovel Knight, yes, he would also be interesting, but he's not on my list, and that's mainly because he's on my brother's list, and I could have him do one of these as well. But Shantae, I would love to have Shantae on here because she's got a wide variety of, like, different style equipment, like different style items than really anybody else, and Shantae would be a really good indie character. And considering the fact that she has, like, 2 quote-unquote newer games, then it'd be really cool to have Shantae up here. And, like, she could use her different forms to do different techniques and, like, different attacks and stuff like that. Or just use, like, her specials. Like, use her transformations for her specials. And even then, it'd be interesting. But I've wanted Shantae for a little while now. Like, I wanted her as DLC in Smash 4. And I still believe that she could get a spot. I still believe that she could have a spot in Smash Ultimate. And that's because of, like I said, how versatile she can be with a move set and specials and stuff like that. It'd be really interesting to see Shantae and to have Shantae in Smash. And she'd be like a good indie rep, like a really good indie rep. And her movesets could be, like, differed between her games. But I could mainly see them using, like, some of her... They would have to use, like, all of her transformations for a moveset. Or just her items. But, like, with Half Genie Hero, she's... Half Genie Hero, she could use her, like, item... Or no, it's Pirate's Curse. She could use her... Yeah, like that, her pirate weapons from Pirate's Curse for attacks. She could use her transformations for specials. I don't know what her final smash would be, but it would all just be a really interesting moveset and just an interesting character in general to represent indie, like the indie titles. And her, like I said, she's just a really good indie rep, but for her, like, for her costume, I don't know how well Nintendo would go about looking at that. They could possibly end up changing part of it, and that could make some people mad. And the costume is one of the main reasons why she's my number 4. But the other reasons are because she would have to use transformations for attacks, because her standard attacks, she doesn't have enough. Literally, like, one of her only attacks is her hair flip, and that's without using items. So her attacks would be interesting, but regardless, I don't know how much of a wide variety of stuff she would be able to use. And all of her pirate stuff and all of her transformations might be a little bit too much. It might be too much for them to bother with detail and rendering. So that's one reason why she's my number 4 on this list. Number 3. Darja. Now for my number 3, the reason why I've chosen Darja is, yes, I know she's another Fire Emblem rep, but she's a good Fire Emblem rep, in my opinion. Because Darja's a lot more different than the other Fire Emblem characters, because all other Fire Emblem characters use a sword. Darja doesn't. Darja uses tomes, just like Robin, but she doesn't have a sword to fight with, so she'd be able to be all magic. And I know you guys are probably thinking, but we've already got Robin, and Robin already uses the tomes. Meh, meh, meh. Yes, that is true. But I could see Darja using different tomes than Robin does. And yes, some may still be the same, but used in different ways. Like, instead of using Elwind as a recovery, Elwind could be like her forward B or something. But regardless, with Darja, it would be a lot more interesting to have her as a Fire Emblem rep, because she's not a sword-wielding Fire Emblem character. And I know I would want a Fire Emblem character that doesn't wield a sword, and in that we could find Darja in the non-sword wielding category of Fire Emblem. Now, there are some other Fire Emblem characters that I would have thought of, like Merrick from one of the old Fire Emblem games, but that probably would not happen considering how old Merrick is. But regardless, I would love to have Darja because she would have a different versatility and a different variety of tomes to use, and like a different moveset other than Robin with his tomes. And as I said, she would be a non-sword-wielding Fire Emblem character. I cannot stress that enough. Darja does not use a sword, therefore she would be a decent Fire Emblem rep. And she wouldn't be complained about all the time because she's another Fire Emblem rep, or she's another sword wielder. She's different. She uses tomes instead of a sword, but she is still a Fire Emblem rep, and yeah, we've got a lot of those in the first place, but Fire Emblem is known for its wide variety of characters, so that's why it would be interesting to have Darja. I still think it's possible, and that's why she's my number 3. I still believe that it's possible to have Darja in Smash. It's not as ridiculous as some of the others. So, Darja is my number 3 for that reason. Number 2. King K.Rool. And number 2, K.Rool. He should have already been in Smash. There's not a whole bunch that I need to say about K.Rool, because so many people want and we need K.Rool in Smash Brothers already. We should have already had him, but I don't understand why we didn't get him or don't have him. And like, we have him in the form of the Mii's K.Rool costume, but no, that's not King K.Rool. And I know Sakurai listens to the fans. I know he does, because he added in freaking Ridley to Smash Brothers when nobody else thought that he was getting in. But because Ridley's not too big anymore, so King K.Rool isn't either. And K.Rool would be just amazing in Smash Brothers. And everybody else has their villain in Smash except for Donkey Kong. And we need Donkey Kong with his enemy, with his, like, villain. We need K.Rool in Smash. K.Rool would be an amazing Smasher. And just, his moveset could be different between all of the games that he's appeared in. His taunts could be just multiple different things from the games. K.Rool would just be an amazing addition to Smash Brothers. And this is one game that I could see K.Rool getting added into. And like I said, he should have already been in Smash for Wii U, but for some reason he wasn't. And like, some of his different costumes can be his different costumes from his games, or from the games that he's in, like his scientist costume, his pirate costume, his original costume, his boxing costume, and like his stage can be his pirate ship or his lab. But either way, K.Rool would be an amazing character in Smash, and everybody, like everybody can agree with me on that. At this point, I can very well see King K.Rool being a Smash Brothers character. And I've wanted him for a really long time. 8-Bit has wanted him for a really long time. And I've, like, pretty much everybody has wanted King K.Rool in Smash Brothers. And honestly, with this game, I feel like we may end up getting it. So, K.Rool is my number 2 for that reason. He is my number 2 because he should have already been in Smash, and he would fit perfectly, and he is Donkey Kong's villain, and we need Donkey Kong's villain in Smash Brothers. That is why he is my number 2. And number 1, Sora. Now, the reason why I have chose Sora as my number 1, Sora is, yes, he is my main in Super Smash Flash 2, but also Sora is getting a brand new game. Finally, we are going to be getting Kingdom Hearts 3. And I feel like a lot of Nintendo stuff is picking up on newer game titles like Kingdom Hearts 3. They pick up on games that are recently coming out, and part of me feels like one reason why they added Ridley into it is because of Metroid Prime 4 that we're finally getting, and the demand from the Smash universe. And Inkling with their new game of Splatoon 2, well, new, but I want Sora because even though, yes, he would be technically a sword fighter, he's a key fighter, but it'd be amazing to have a different Square Enix rep, because I'll have to look back into it, but I'm not 100% sure if Cloud is 100% Square Enix, or who else Cloud is owned by. But another reason why I would believe that Sora can get in is because Cloud got in, and Cloud is also in Kingdom Hearts. So I don't see it completely impossible for Sora to be a character in Smash Brothers. And with the addition of Ridley, I don't think anybody's really impossible now, because of Ridley getting in. Everybody thought that Ridley was too big, but Sakurai said, nah, he's not too big, let's throw him in anyway. And I don't know how many people wanted or still want Sora, but I know that I do. And if there would be a problem with the Disney factor of Donald and Goofy, and Sora being partly owned by Disney and partly owned by Square Enix, it would be a little difficult for them to get the rights to Sora, yes, but I could honestly see Nintendo being able to pull it off because they're Nintendo. Now, Sora's moveset, I could see it being a lot like his moveset in Super Smash Flash 2, but I can also see it being fairly different from his moveset in Super Smash Flash 2. Because in that, he has some broken moves, he has some broken locks, his neutral is a lock, but there are characters that also have neutral locks. But Sora would be different because I feel like he would be able to use more equipment and stuff like that, have different, maybe his drive forms can help him out in different ways, his wisdom form can be his up B and stuff like that. But I would prefer his moveset would be taken from Kingdom Hearts 2 instead of Kingdom Hearts 3, because in Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm not completely sure how I feel about the Keyblade transformations. That's one thing that I don't know how I completely feel about, because I'm not a big fan of the Keyblade transformations. It's a key blade for a reason, not a key transformer. I would much rather prefer Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm not sure if that would be the case, but I know that I would much rather have Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2, because in Kingdom Hearts 1, he was just getting into the groove of things. Kingdom Hearts 3, it feels like kinda too much for a moveset. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 would be a perfect line for a moveset. And I feel like maybe his final smash could be like using the 2 Keyblades for rapid attacks or something like that. But, or maybe calling in Riku to have him help and fight. But I know that either way, it'd be really hard for them to get the rights to use Sora in Smash Brothers. But Disney could possibly go for it and say, go ahead, use him, but just use him properly. And because, like, the fact that Disney owns pretty much everything, it'd be hard for them not to get the rights, or it'd be hard for them to give over rights, I feel, to use Sora in Smash Brothers because of that factor, because they pretty much own everything. And Disney can be very, very picky about the stuff that they want used and where. But with Sora, I feel like Sora could be an exception because Sora is a fighter, and it'd be really interesting to see how he would fit into the Smash Brothers universe, and like what art style they would choose for Sora and everything. And like if they do decide to go with a story mode like they did with Subspace Emissary for Brawl, if they decide to go with a story mode like a Subspace 2 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they could use like the Heartless to be some enemies for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in Subspace 2 if they decide to go with another storyline. And this is all stuff from Flash 2 that you're seeing now. It's Super Smash Flash 2 is a good representation of what they can do for Sora, because his moveset, it has a really good variety. It has a bunch of different attacks that he can use for his moveset in general in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And yet, like I said, he's got locks and like neutral locks and stuff like that. But his air game would be really, really good as well. And he can use different magic like fire, blizzard, lightning. For like, he could use it for like his, it could be like Robin with his tomes. And just use the magic for different special moves, like recoveries and stuff like that. Sora could fit into the realm, like into the Smash universe, because just how his character is, and I could see Sora's cocky character style fitting in. And sure, he would probably have to exclude Donald and Goofy, which I know a lot of people would say, but Donald and Goofy are like they're like his iconic teammates. Yes, that is very true. However, they also belong fully to Disney. When Sora doesn't fully belong to Disney, he belongs to Disney and Square Enix. And like I said, Cloud, he was in Kingdom Hearts as well, and he also belongs to the same I believe he also belongs to Square Enix, like, completely, but was in a Disney game title. So that does leave opening for Sora being able to be a character, because they also added Cloud into Kingdom Hearts. And they probably will still continue the trend of adding Final Fantasy characters into Kingdom Hearts games. And with Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out, like, shortly, I could see Sora possibly being at least a DLC fighter later on down the line for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I would love to have Sora in here because of that reason, and that is why Sora is my number 1. And now for some honorable mentions. Now, with the honorable mentions, I'm going to be working my way from the left to the right, starting with Waluigi, then Knuckles, then Stealth Elf, then Nealon, and giving my reasons as to why they're mentions instead of wants. Now with these, I'm just going to be bouncing back and forth. I'm going to be, like I said at the start, I'm going from Waluigi to Knuckles to Stealth Elf to Nealon. And I don't know if I'm just going to bother, I don't know if I'm going to bother, like, putting in a different video part for them, but regardless, Waluigi is one of the honorable mentions because I'm not sure if he's pretty much deconfirmed for Smash Brothers. I feel like he is because he was shown as an assist trophy in the first video, like the introduction of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I feel like he was already pretty much confirmed as an assist trophy, and knowing Sakurai, we honestly don't know if he's fully deconfirmed because, let's be honest, it's Daddy Sakurai. He pretty much does whatever he wants with his game. So, if he wants, he could change that and patch it to where Waluigi is not an assist trophy anymore and throw him in that as an actual character. We don't know. Sakurai can do pretty much whatever he wants, however he wants to. And a lot of people would be okay with it, a lot of people wouldn't. Because they're, like, the Waluigi fan base is pretty much split. Some people, like, a lot of people want him, a lot of people don't. I personally would like to have Waluigi because we have the other three. We've got Mario, Luigi, and Wario, but we don't have Waluigi. And I know it could probably be argued the fact of Waluigi was introduced to play tennis, but because he was introduced as a Mario Tennis player to begin with, and maybe just to have another character for Mario Tennis, I don't know. But regardless, Waluigi could be a fairly decent character to throw into Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I know a lot of other people want him. And I myself, I am one of those people that would want to have Waluigi in Smash Bros. For the fact that he'd be a really good addition. Knuckles. Knuckles is on here as a honorable mention because as the same for Waluigi, he is pretty much deconfirmed for a playable character in Smash Bros. Ultimate because he is shown as an assist trophy. He was shown as an assist trophy at Treehouse and Sakurai playing it himself. So sadly, Knuckles is pretty much deconfirmed as a playable character for Smash Brothers. So it sucks, yes, but either way, this is Knuckles' moveset from Project M. Like Project M, of course, is a mod, but Knuckles was also a modified and added-in character with his own unique moveset. And I could see his moveset being, like, if he is in Smash, if he would have been a playable character in Smash Bros. Ultimate, I could see them getting the moveset from Project M here, because it works really well, except for the down smash. I'm not a huge fan of the down smash, and I would prefer, like, if his forward air spiked, and, like, not just a weird random hit like Dr. Mario's, because it pretty much has, like, an exact same hitbox as Dr. Mario's fair as it was in Smash Bros. Ultimate, or in Smash Bros. Wii U, not Ultimate. But, like I said, sadly, Knuckles is pretty much a deconfirmed character for Smash Bros. Ultimate because he's an assist trophy in the game. However, I'm not sure if they did take out Shadow and replaced Shadow with Knuckles as an assist trophy. But if that's the case, then we could end up seeing a Shadow Echo for Sonic, which would be fairly interesting because, again, Sonic is another one of the characters that doesn't have his quote-unquote enemy. I see Shadow as more of, like, a rival for Sonic, but either way, we still do not have a Sonic enemy in Smash Brothers, so maybe we could end up seeing a Shadow Echo, which I would be completely okay with. I would be fine with that. But, as I said, Knuckles is pretty much deconfirmed because he's an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, this one is a weird one, and I've added in Stealth Elf mainly because I would love to see Stealth Elf as a playable character. Stealth Elf was my main Skylander in the games of Skylanders. And she would just have a really good moveset, to be honest. I honestly feel like she would possibly fit better than Spyro in the game. But I know Spyro is more of a face than Stealth Elf is, and Stealth Elf would be probably one of the least thought of characters to add instead of Spyro. Like, if they added anybody from Skylanders, why would it be Stealth Elf? Yada yada yada. But Stealth Elf is one of the earliest Skylanders from the Skylanders games. And yeah, she's there because of Spyro, because it's Spyro's Skylanders Adventure, or whatever. I forgot the name of the first game. But I would honestly love to see Stealth Elf, because she would have a wide variety of attacks and versatility and stealth. She could, like, go invisible for a few short seconds, could throw in a clone, stuff like that. But Stealth Elf probably wouldn't be a character in Smash, mainly because it'd probably be Spyro to represent anybody of the Spyro games. So that's why I highly doubt Stealth Elf would be a character. Now, this person, I don't know how many people actually know who she is, because Nealon is from a old Capcom game called Remember Me. It's old, but it's a pretty good one. It's old but gold, in one way to put it. But Nealon's like I said, an older type character, and I don't think that she would be a character in Smash Brothers, because she'd just be too different, and we already have 2 Capcom characters. Although I'm not saying that we couldn't get another one, I just don't think that it would be in the form of Nealon, because there hasn't been a Remember Me game in so long. There's only been literally just the one game of Remember Me, unless there's a Remember Me sequel that I don't know about, like Remember Me Again or something like that. But either way, Nealon would have a really good moveset. Like, throughout the game of Remember Me itself, she gets more and more moves. Like, you can unlock different attacks, unlock different moves, and you just be able to use that wide variety of attacks in different forms of combos. And I could see her having something similar to like Snake does and Pit does, like Palutena's Guidance or Snake, where he calls on his people. I completely forgot what that was, like what it was called, but I feel like she could have something like that and just call on Edge to have him talk to her about an opponent or something like that. That could be her grab and stuff like that. But I highly doubt Nealon would be a character in Smash, because she's been out for so long. She hasn't had a game for so long, and the game that she was in sadly wasn't remembered that well, which sucks, but it's a really good game. I would highly recommend checking it out and playing it for yourselves so you can see what I'm talking about. But Nealon, I feel like, would be a decent addition into the Smash Brothers roster, but I highly doubt that it would be there. I highly doubt that she would actually get in, and she's an honorable mention for that reason. And that has been my top 10 list for Smash Bros. Characters that I want to see in Ultimate. Now, if there's characters in this list that you guys didn't think about but are now considering, let me know in the comments section below. If there's characters on this list that you highly doubt would ever make it into Smash Brothers, let me know that as well, like Nealon and Stealth Elf. I myself don't really see them making it into Smash Brothers, but it would be kind of cool to see them. But either way, my list is my list. This is my top 10, and these are the people that I stick with, and my honorable mentions. But if there's anybody here that you guys didn't think about at first, but now consider, let me know. If there's characters in here that you know you want to see in Smash Brothers, like Waluigi, let me know that as well. Let me know if you're with the Waluigi army. Let me know if you're also singing Waluigi. But this is my list, and I hope that you guys have your own top 10 list. And if you do, let me know that in the comment section below. If you have some friends that have a top 10 list, get together with them and discuss your top 10 lists. Make it fun. Always make your top 10 list a fun little list to do. Because we know that there's going to be some newcomers to Smash Brothers, some new DLC fighters coming to Smash Brothers, we just don't know who. And we know there's not going to be a bunch of them because we already have 64 characters. But regardless, this is my list, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you guys have your own top 10 list, because I know a lot of you do. Let me know if there's anybody on my list that you also have on your list. But with all of that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya!